The house sent out 3 cats today. The house has 113 more where those came from, so nobody get attached, least of all me.
I'm Selina. I'm a monk. I have taken a vow of discipline, restraint, and hitting things extremely hard.
Lainey, archer. I stay at the back and let other people do the heavy lifting, which is also how I ended up with 4 kittens.
Haley, I'm 1. Nobody's explained anything to me, including where any of my brothers came from.
Ask your mother.
Which one?
Exactly.
Then the alley produced a hippopotamus. 80 health, no explanation, and frankly, no manners.
That's a hippo.
That's a hippo in an alley.
Nobody in my training covered a hippo. Nobody covered anything this wide.
It hasn't moved yet. Is it thinking? I don't love that it's thinking.
It's called Queen Hippo. It has a title. Somebody at some point knelt.
"36 health, 19, 11. I'd like to formally withdraw my enthusiasm and about half my vows."
Selina, get behind me. Selina, that is aggressively not behind me.
"7 health. Watch this. I've been saving one really good punch for exactly this mom."
She had not been saving one really good punch. Selina, age 2, a monk, sworn to restraint, and the only cat in this house who ever practiced any.
One health, 1. My salts just shattered in my paw, and that was the last pair.
Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't have a thought loud enough for it to hear.
They won. 2 of them walked home to a house that would replace her by mourning. Not out of cruelty, out of scheduling. The sewers offered a nicer class of problem and a considerably worse class of company.
What's that one called?
Nice little bow on top.
That one's called gassy.
And the round one?
Meow. 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 Meow.
Boomer. Sit with that name a moment. It becomes relevant.
There's a chicken down here. A whole chicken. In a sewer. Living its best and final life.
That chicken is poisoned. 13 damage a turn every turn, and it hasn't complained once. Show me one Tom in our house with that stamina.
Nice little... Meow. Wow. Wow. Meow. 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 Meow.
I've decided the chicken is the most impressive thing I've ever met, and I won't be taking questions.
Meow.
17 health, and now I'm poisoned too. Solidarity with the chicken. Closest thing to a relationship I've had all week.
Meow.
Enjoy this. It's the last easy fight, and I'd rather you heard that from me than from Boris.
Meow.
sandstorm arrived and began hurting everything on the board equally. The most fairness anyone has shown these cats all season.
Meow.
The weather is attacking us. Is the weather allowed to do that?
The weather doesn't ask. Very little around here does.
Nice little bow on top. Wrapped it all up.
And then, out of the sand, 200 health of Boris.
Boris, why is a name worse? Why is a name so much worse?
You can't be frightened of a number. You can absolutely be frightened of a Boris. I've dated one.
Meow. Meow.
You dated a Boris?
Meow.
Twice. The second time was research.
Nice little bow on top.
Right. 185 on him, 32 on me. I've done the arithmetic twice and it was rude both times.
Meow. Nice little bow on top.
Haley, if I don't make it, you can have my bow, my arrows, and absolutely none of my kittens.
Meow.
Lainey, age 3. 4 kittens, 2 of them by accident, all of them commissioned by a house that does not take no for an answer.
Meow. Meow.
She'd want me to say something meaningful. She'd be wrong, but she'd want it.
Meow. Meow. Wrapped it all up. Meow.
One cat left. The caves welcomed her by setting themselves entirely on fire.
Wrapped it all up.
Everything's on fire. Fine. That's just home with the comfort rating below 0. The scenery just bit me. A rock. A rock ambushed me. It committed to being a rock harder than anyone in my family has committed to anything.
Wrapped it all up.
11, then 13, then 14. Cats advance quickly when there's nobody left to share the experience with.
Meow. Meow.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Nice little bow on.
I've stopped choosing spells. I have the one and it has never let me down, which puts it ahead of most of the household.
Meow.
Selina would have punched that, badly, confidently, and been unbearable about it for a week.
Meow.
Nothing's moving. That's either very good or the single worst thing that's happened today.
Meow.
One baby spider stood in her path and asked politely not to be hurt.
Oh, you're tiny. You're barely a spider. I'm not going to...
Behind the baby spider was its mother, 250 health of mother, and every one of those spiderlings was planned.
Spinneret. Of course she has a name. Of course she does. Come on, then. I've buried better than you today, and I've got nothing at home but paperwork and a queue.
Level 15. One cat came home. The house counted her in, noted the 2 vacancies, and got straight on the phone to a Tom about it.
Nice little bow on top. Yeah.